We live in a wetland basin area here in Superior, and sometimes very important economic development programs or projects will come in conflict with existing wetlands. The state has a policy of wetland mitigation, but sometimes that's not sufficient because of protected species that might exist, particularly in a wetland, that wouldn't be duplicated in a newly created wetland to offset that area. So I want to know, as mayor, are you going to look farther than just mitigation when it comes to the specific things that need to be protected in a wetland when considering mitigation or considering changing the current wetland area?
Yeah, particular person you wish to ask that question to first, Paul, or does it?
I'd like to hear what all the candidates
Okay, well, we'll
have to
just
say.
start with listening to the microphone, and we'll switch forward and attack that.
Are you from Superior?
I'm from Ashland originally.
Okay, so anybody that's from Superior knows that Superior is a wetland. I mean, it's a swamp. We have basements. You know, if you've had a basement, you know that you're going to have water in your basement at some point. So Superior is a wetland. Protecting endangered species, protecting plants and animals clearly has to be something that we need to consider. I mean, it's very important. Our natural resources are important, but again, given where we live, and given the fact that we need to develop our economy, there are systems in place to consider exactly what your concern is, and I think we need to follow those, and we need to carefully weigh the economic benefit versus how it's going to affect our ecosystem here. And again, this is a wetland. Thank you.
That's a great and important question. Won't go into the wetlands. We all know the wetland, like Greg said, but the mitigation process is very finite, very directed through the Department of DNR and also the Corps of Engineers. And the process of wetland mitigation is also very time-consuming. But what's interesting, at least to me, is that Douglas County, we have more wetland mitigation sites than any other county in the state of Wisconsin, perhaps because we have what we have. We also, the job that we've done in mitigation has been recognized widely by the DNR for its efficiency and the care we give to the process, as well as the animals and plants and wildlife and so forth, to the point where we have been allowed to have our own SAM. That's we have sites in Superior that are partial wetland, but we have control over those, and we can get a permit in like a month versus 6 months or a year to do something with it with the proper control. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that we've been recognized the efficiencies of how we operate with wetland mitigation and having our own SAM program.
It's a really great question, and I appreciate you asking it today. Protecting our endangered species and animals is important. It's a top priority for us. It's a part of our environment. It's part of who we are here in Superior. And I think that while economic development is very important in this day and age, we need to weigh the risks. Is there another spot that fits better for this business or building industry, whatever it may be that we're going to put it there? Is there somewhere else that we can put it versus go to mitigating the wetland area? Can we keep that the way it is? It's important to weigh all of our options, but it's important to make sure that we're not putting money first over our environment, because that's always going to be here and it's our job to protect it.
Thanks for asking that, Graham. That was a really good question. I'm an environmentalist, and so I believe that our natural environment, especially in this unique corner of Wisconsin and the United States, is our most valuable asset, and that we absolutely need to protect it as not just for our own recreation and enrichment and knowledge, but for future generations, so that they get to experience the unique ecosystem and environmental culture that we've been privileged to enjoy. That said, we have economic needs as well, and as an environmentalist, I believe that our strongest positions need to be economic development and environmental partnerships, so that the interests of economic development and the interests of protecting our environment don't conflict with each other, but work together. So I've been very proud of the work that the county has done in our own wetland mitigation and our development and our protection of our forests, and our sustainable management of all of our waterways and natural resources. I wish I could take more credit for it. The Forestry Committee really takes some strong leadership on that issue. I believe that there are areas that are prime for economic development within the city of Superior, and that those areas should be used for development, but we have to do it in an environmentally sustainable way. There are unique, irreplaceable ecosystems, and those cannot be sacrificed just for economic development. So again, everybody has to come to the table. We can't have an all or nothing approach to the environment or economic development. That's what I've believed on the county, and that's what I'm going to take to the city.
Boy, on this one I could just say ditto and be done with, but which pretty much I agree with everybody here that's spoken so far. I know what's nice is we do have the DNR that is very strict on the regulations now as far as any type of species, of course, both invasive and the natural species that are in the wetlands. I know we've been going in the right direction, clean up of watersheds, we've been doing that. As far, we've been recognized by the NER, and we've been recognized by other programs as far as the success we are having in cleaning up those areas. As far as regards to businesses coming in, I think we're doing that right now. We do look at all that as far as we look at all the wetlands, and then the DNR lets us go ahead with those if they're approved.